Hello YouTube, back again with another video. Gotta make this video for my female customers. I know some guys gonna say, well, how about dudes? Well, it works well for the dudes as well. But since a lot of women, you know what I'm saying, are dealing with fucked up guys, basically guys, I mean, shit, we're not the best of creatures on this planet. But anyhow, basically my female customers, I'm making this video for you. Well, I want to talk about love magic. Well, basically, love magic is something that takes a lot of work. As I said in the previous video, which I just made, love magic and abusive relationships. Well, I don't say love magic is pretty much. I mean, when you're not, this is away from the abuse. Just talk about love magic in general here. You know what I'm saying? Last video I talked about assholes and stuff like that. But let's just say this, you got various scenarios. You got one scenario like the last video about abusive guys. You got another scenario where the person leaves and stuff like that. And you got another situation where you want a person whatsoever. Well, I say these situations have to be addressed strategically. You can't use the same method for everyone. You can't. You have to be able to lay out a formula, for each situation that you're dealing with, Well, I say this. Let's just say this. When you're doing love magic, let's just say if you're trying to pull someone who you are not in a relationship with, the best strategy I recommend to you is basically being the best person that you can be around them. You want to have things, let's just say, it's, you want to have things like, let's say, to enhance that. I mean, whether it's oils and stuff like that, like oil on your person, or basically, whether it's a talisman whatsoever that's going to attract love whatsoever. You want to have that when you come around the person, and you want to be like the dream. You gotta sell yourself. You gotta do everything that you gotta be everything that the person can't find. So on that aspect of bringing someone, now when the person leaves you, they have that purity of you in their mind. Now I say this is that the part of all love magic is pulling them. There's many ways of pulling them, but I realize the best strategy for pulling people is through power, word of power, prayer, whatsoever. People underestimate the power of prayer. Prayer is very important, but I say in this position of prayer, there must be some form of power working on the person's spirit. Basically, you can't do prayer without having some type of influence. I think when I was learning this from a hoodoo worker a long time ago, he told me, he called it the Jones. You know what I'm saying? The heebie-jeebies whatsoever. Basically, I definitely say that when that feeling hits him, where the heebie-jeebies come from is more of a, I'd say, whether it's your candle work. I prefer candle work, because it works fast, and there's other means of doing it. But I say this, while your work is going on, let's just I'm going to give you a practical example. Here it goes. Now you got your pink candle here. I would prefer red. Pink candles are more like when you're already involved with the person and stuff like that. But red candles is more like to attract them, to bring them. So now you do your ritual. You anoint the candle. I got a candle. How to anoint the candle video whatsoever in my video in my videos whatsoever. You just got to look at them whatsoever. But I go through the whole procedure how to anoint the candle. So now you got the candle in front of you. Another thing you need is your, let's just say, let me move it here correctly, is your prayer book. I mean, some people probably seen this book here. Basically a prayer book whatsoever, Like, so you basically, the thing about prayer, and while the person is jonesing, the person's, you'll probably hear the person say, I don't know why I feel this way whatsoever. It's the Jones that does that, But, and the same token with it being the Jones, your prayer has to make contact with the mind. Because the thing is, a person, if they're feeling all this stuff, and they have in your prayer. See, let me explain the prayer down for you before I even go any further. Prayer is like telepathy. It is sending a message to the universe, and not only is it sending a message to the universe, it is sending a message to your person. The person that you're trying to attract, or bring to your life, The thing is, when you're saying your prayer, you want to have the image or the vision of them in your mind. So let me just give you an example. I'm going to read this. O wandering Jew of lovers, as you enter the temple of Jerusalem and blew out the holy candle, thus I want you to enter into the heart of such and such. and do not let them eat nor sleep nor have peace, until they come to me. Blah 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 blah. But let me explain this to you. When you're reading this, you want to basically put power into it. While you're saying this, you are visualizing the person. You have the image of the person in your mind's eye. If you can't focus on it, have a picture of them in front of you so you can have the image. When you turn around, that image of the person is your mind. So now you say, "Oh, wandering a Jew of lovers, as you enter the temple of Jerusalem and blew out the candles of the holy altar, thus I want you to enter into the heart of John." And John Schwartz. Just give me an example. John Schwartz. Don't let him eat nor sleep, nor have peace until he comes to me, giving himself with all the heart, body, and soul. Now, you're saying that with power. It's not just one-time shoot. You got to say that prayer at least 6 times. You got to feel the hairs rise on your neck while you're saying it. Like, you got to feel the passion. Not to say that's just a sign that you're doing it right, because you don't have to have that. But you got to feel the passion. You got to say it. You know what I'm saying? You got to say it and feel it inside. While you're visualizing the person, you're saying the prayer whatsoever. It works for black magic as well. You know what I'm saying? You can use the Bible for good and evil as well. So while you're saying this, the image, whatever prayer book you use, let me just throw this out there. You can use Psalms. You know what I'm saying? You can use that. You can use that for good or bad. So you can there's prayers in Psalms that you can use that's directed for love whatsoever. So if you use that, same concept, you don't necessarily have to have this specific book here in order to do this. Long as you have the strong concentration of the image of the person in your mind, while the candle's going, you're saying this. Let's just say give yourself at least 7 to 6 times with emotion. You're saying this while visualizing the person. That energy leaves from you, goes out to its source. While a person is feeling some type of way, it makes a connection with their mind, because now their feelings is there, but now while their feelings is there, they're making a connection with your thoughts, the thought of you. So now these things come together. This person makes an action to contact you, or basically they're drawn to you whatsoever. And that's how it works. Sometimes, especially if you broke up with the person, this is a procedure that may take months. Like you set up probably if you're a person that can go 7 days a week making prayers, 6 times, like six prayers a day, 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. The more prayers you make, the more emotion you put into it, the faster your results is going to be. So the thing is, I say this, you got to basically have like a mindset of you don't care what's in front of you. It's like hope. You got to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you see, you know that there's hope. Faith is basically walking without knowing where to go, but knowing that you're going to get there. That's the best way I can put faith. Hope is pretty much knowing that it's at the end of the tunnel. The light is at the end of the tunnel. Faith is walking to the end of the tunnel, not knowing where you're going, but you know you're going to get there. And that's the mindset that you have to have with love work. If you're trying to pull a person, especially if they broke up with you and told you they don't want to be with you anymore, that's a mindset you got to have. But this is not something that's just going to take one day. No, you may have to go through weeks, months in order to see the manifestation. But you can't give up. That's the key. Consistency is the key. You cannot give up. You got to keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. Keep on putting it, beating it, putting the power out there. But in the same token, I say this to you. While you're doing this, you're going to see a lot of signs and omens. You may start seeing images of love images. You may start hearing love songs popping up out of nowhere, and you may even hear people mention the name of their person that you're trying to pull. It may not be the exact name. It may be the last name. Maybe have a little variance. But when you're saying this, also you want to say the full name of the person while you're saying this prayer. You know what I'm saying? While you have the image of the person in your mind. But sometimes I say, you don't necessarily. Some people say you don't necessarily do that. You don't need to do that. But I do that just to be on point and accurate. But definitely the visualization is really what makes it, what really helps the job whatsoever. So with that said, I've rambled on for about going on 9 minutes. It was pretty much 9:12 now. But I'm going to conclude this video. Hopefully this is informative. I think that said everything that needs to be done. So other than that, like and subscribe. Hopefully this is informative. Peace out.